Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and I have some big news that you guys may or may not care about, but I'm really excited about. It involves my personal life, so I'm going to share it with you anyway. And if you guys have watched any of my earlier videos, like the Getting to Know Me video, you will know that I struggle a little bit with doing my eye makeup sometimes because for the last 4.5 years or so, I have been pretty much blind in one of my eyes. I had a really bad infection and all this stuff happened, and it was really chaotic. And because of that, even though it healed, I still didn't have any vision. I could see colors and I'd see like blurry figures, but I couldn't discern anything. When you go to the eye doctor and you see that big letter, couldn't even see that. But I finally got the stuff I need to allow me to see. So this is the first video I'm doing and the first time doing my eye makeup when I can actually see out of both eyes. And let me tell you, it seems really small and simple, but when you lose it, you'll remember how much you appreciate being able to see out of both eyes and the differences it makes in your life. So I'm really excited for this video simply because of that. I'm always excited to do videos for you guys. I'm going to be testing out, as you can tell by the title, the new IT Pretty Naturals palette. I just did a little bit of an Ulta and drugstore haul, and this is one of the items I got, and I will link that video down below if you want to see it. And so I'm going to be testing this out, but I was really excited to actually try a new eyeshadow palette and play with a look on my eyes when I can actually see what I'm doing out of the left eye. Good thing. Thumbs up for that. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to be showing for you guys. And this is something, again, I did get at Ulta. This is what the inside of the palette looks like. So you do have a lot of pretty colors. They are all matte. So if you're a big shimmer person, this isn't going to be the best palette. But it's got a lot of cool tones. A few warm tones, but it is a mostly cool tone palette. It's got 15 different shades because you do have this white that's a little bit bigger. And I guess it's supposed to be your... It says it's your Transforming Pearl. That one has a little bit of a shimmer too. That is the only one. So you get a lot of looks out of this. You can create a nice smoky eye out of it. You can do an everyday natural eye out of it. And then of course you do get a mirror with it as well. So without further ado, I'm not going to talk about this too much. If you want to look it up, it's on Ulta. I'll list the price down below as well for you guys. But without further ado, let's go ahead and test it out. So I did obviously zoom you guys in just so you can see a little bit of what it's actually going to look like when I dip my brushes into the shades. First, I'm going to start out with Warmth, which is this nice, pretty kind of beigey toned color right here. And I'm just going to see how that works out. So as you can see, there is some fallout. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm just going to tap my brush into it a few times. It is coating the brush nicely, but it is creating a little bit of fallout. It's not just an awful amount that pretty much ruins the palette or anything like that. But I'm just going to tap that off and see how it applies. So in just testing out that first shade, again, you don't really get a feel for it too much. But I will say it didn't apply with chunkiness. It didn't cause any sort of smearingness. It didn't just go right off the lid. So far, so good. It is a little bit powdery. It's not too buttery, but that's okay. It's not the end-all be-all for this palette. And again, fallout is not the worst thing in the world, especially when dealing with matte colors. So next I'm going to go in with Sunset, which is this really pretty kind of corally peach color. Test that one out. That one is also really quite chalky. I will show you if you can see. You can kind of see a little bit where the colors I have dipped in. It is a little bit chalky there. It's a little bit dusty, but again, nothing just awful and nothing just crazy. So we'll keep going with it. So that's really pretty pigmented. So Sunset is very pigmented. It's a very pretty color. It blends really nicely. So again, that was Sunset, and again, even though it's still a little bit chalky, it blended really nicely. It's very pigmented. Again, wasn't chalky, went exactly where I wanted it to go. Didn't remove any of the warmth shade I just had on. So far I'm really liking this palette. Still, I'm going to try a couple different colors, do a couple different things with it, see if I still like it. So next we're going to go in with Midnight, which is this really pretty dark blue color. And traditionally, the darker your colors go, the more fallout you have, but that is actually not the case for this. It's coating my brush nicely, but it's not as powdery as Sunset was, especially it's very similar to Warm. So that is not bad. My palette isn't just a mess, anything like that. And you really don't have to put a lot of oomph into the pressure you put on the brush to pick up the color. It's you're not like here I'm gonna dig it and just swirl it and swirl it and swirl it to pick up the color. So what I'm really liking about this shade, and another really positive thing about this palette, is that as I'm going in to blend this blue Midnight color into the more coppery tones of Sunset, sometimes when you have really just conflicting colors, which blue and orange are on the opposite side of the color spectrum, so typically they go well together, but sometimes they can also blend too much together. And it just becomes one big blobby color and you lose the pigment from both. I'm not getting that. So even as I'm putting in Midnight over where I currently have Sunset, I'm not getting a third color. It's sticking to Midnight, and yet Sunset is still peeking through. And that isn't always the case. You don't always have palettes that you can really blend out without losing the pigmentation. So that is really something I'm enjoying about this palette so far. Now that I have Midnight on, I'm going to go in with Sunrise, which is right next to Sunset, go figure. And I'm just going to tap into that. This one has a very similar consistency as Sunset. So I mean, that's kind of appropriate given that the names are so similar. But as far as the amount of fallout and how it goes on the brush, it's more similar to Sunset than it was to Warmth or Midnight. I will also say too that Sunrise was a slightly less pigmented than the others. I just had to go in a little bit more to get more color over the eyelid, but for the most part, the pigmentation is great in this palette. So for me, if it blends, if the pigmentation is there, if it goes on smoothly, doesn't come out patchy, then I really just don't mind fallout. And again, it's not that extreme. So overall, so far I'm liking this palette. I'm just going to do a little bit more with it, and then I will just kind of give you my final thoughts. I'm going to go back in now with Midnight, that blue color, and I'm going to use that to line my lower lash line. Lastly, I'm going to go in with Transforming Pearl, the one shimmery shade in here, and it's not even that shimmery, it's just kind of pearlescent, which is why I guess they call it Transforming Pearl. And I'm just going to put that right on the top of my brow bone and the corner of my eye. And again, no real fallout. There's nothing on my face as I'm looking, even as it applied. A little bit occurred when I was lining my lower lash line, but that's not anything unusual when you're that close anyway to your cheek, and when you're dealing especially with the dark matte color. So I am not mad at this palette whatsoever. Although I did get something on my face. Don't really know how that happened, so I'm gonna go clean my face up, put some mascara and eyeliner on. I'll do a couple swatches for you guys, and then we'll call it a day. Okay, so from left to right, we have Noir, Midnight, Violet, Mocha, Soulful, Warmth, Soft Light, and Sheer Joy. And that is the top row of the palette. Okay, and here we have from left to right, Love, Sunrise, Sunset, All Heart, Java, Iconic, and Transforming Pearl. Though you can't really see Transforming Pearl so much unless I move my arm, and then you can kind of see it shimmery. And that is the full bottom row. So here you have it, guys. This is the final look I came up with, and you saw the swatches. So again, if you couldn't tell while I was reviewing it in the moment, I really like this palette. I actually think this is probably one of my go-to palettes because it wasn't crazy expensive, but the quality was there. And you have so many different colors, and they're all matte, so you can really wear them just every day in a variety of different ways. And again, you've got your lights, you got your darks, some cools, some warms, mostly cools. But for the most part, I really do like this palette. Tiny bit of fallout, but nothing crazy, nothing major, nothing that's going to break it. Great pigmentation. It blended beautifully. It kept actually the pigmentation, as I said earlier, when I put the dark over the light colors. They didn't blend. It didn't move. Of course, I put my primer on underneath to give the palette a fair shot. So just so you guys know, I really like this palette. It's what I'm trying to get at. I really recommend it. Again, I got it from Ulta. I'll list the price down below. I got it on sale and it was like $21 or something like that. So for me at that time, that was really affordable for what you get. I think that might have been half off though. I don't really remember. Again, price will be down below. But I really recommend it. I love this palette. It's very versatile. Again, it'll probably be my go-to. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you've tried this palette, let me know what you thought in the comment section, or if there's any other palettes, makeup, things like that you want to try, let me know. And I'll do that because I'm obsessed with makeup, and that's why I'm here filming for you guys. Make sure you subscribe before you go. I've got a lot of good makeup that I'm going to be testing out for you guys. I've got a lot of new eyeshadow palettes. I'm going to be testing out, of course, as you saw, potentially from my last video, be testing out all the Physicians Formula stuff, so really working on that brand as well because I don't really know much about it. Moral of the story between all this, so I don't keep here forever as I go on some random tangent, subscribe. You won't miss out on anything. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and until I can get any of those other videos out for you guys, as always, I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.